Good evening, I'm Dale Ostrander.
And I'm Andrea Snody. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of the Centre County Report, Election Night 2022. It's 8 o'clock, and that means the polls have just closed across Pennsylvania. Now the watching and waiting for results begins. Voter turnout has been strong for this midterm election. In State College, there was a steady flow of voters early today, just after polling places opened. And the candidates voted early too. U.S. Senate candidate Josh Fetterman cast his vote in the western PA town of Braddock, where he lives. His opponent, Dr. Mehmet Oz, voted in Montgomery County near Philadelphia. The Senate seat is among the key positions up for grabs across our state. And on a national level, the balance of power in Congress is at stake.
Amid concerns about election security, the Department of Justice has been monitoring polls in 24 states today, including 5 Pennsylvania counties. Centre County is one of the places the DOJ is watching for compliance with federal voting right laws. Let's take a look at the statewide and Centre County races we'll be covering tonight as we wait for first results to come in. In the U.S. Senate race, it's John Fetterman against Dr. Mehmet Oz. Fetterman has served as lieutenant governor for the past 3 years and was mayor of Braddock for 13 years. Oz is the son of a Turkish immigrant and has graduated from Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania. He's a retired surgeon and TV personality. We're also watching the U.S. congressional race tonight in District 15. The district covers Centre County and much of a north-central PA. It's longtime Republican incumbent Glenn Thompson taking on Democratic challenger Michael Milesevich. Thompson is from Bellefonte and was first elected to Congress in 2008. Milesevich lives in Lewisburg and graduated from Juniata College and Bucknell and was mayor of Lewisburg in the 90s. In the governor's race, Democrat Josh Shapiro is up against Republican Doug Mastriano. Shapiro has been Pennsylvania's Attorney General for the past 5 years. Mastriano is a retired military officer who served in the state Senate since 2019.
Now to the State House races. First, District 77, which covers part of the western Centre County, including State College, Pine Grove Mills, and Port Matilda. The incumbent is Democrat Scott Conklin. He's challenged by Republican Steve Yetsko. Conklin is a Rush Township resident and was first elected in 2006. Yetsko has lived in Centre County for more than 20 years. He graduated from Penn State and has volunteered with the Boy Scouts and youth sports. Next up is State House District 82, which covers State College and Boalsburg and north to Snowshoe. Democrat Paul Takak takes on Republican Justin Behrens. Takak has lived in Centre County for over 20 years and has served on the College Township Council. Behrens is a licensed social worker and he's an Army veteran who served in Iraq. And here's a look at State House District 171. That covers part of eastern Centre County, including Bellefonte and Centre Hall, and south into Mifflin County, including Lewistown. Republican incumbent Carrie Benninghoff is challenged by Robert Ziegler. Benninghoff was first elected in 1996 and is the current House Majority Leader. He lives in Bellefonte. Ziegler was born in Franklin County and now lives in Millheim. He served on the Borough Council since 2018.
It's a busy night for county elections officials and volunteers around Pennsylvania. Reporter Anna Meyer is live at the Penn Stater Hotel at Innovation Park, where they're counting ballots tonight. Anna?
I'm standing here at the Penn Stater Hotel where the polls have just closed. Now, if you can see behind me, we have election volunteers who are working hard to tabulate every single vote so it counts. Right now, it's not looking a little too crazy, but there is anticipated rush at 9:30. Somewhere around 300 ballots are expected to flow in. Those are all the updates that we have for you right now, but we'll keep you posted as the night moves forward. Live from Innovation Park, I'm Anna Meyer.
Thanks, Anna. We'll check back with you throughout the night. A new poll this fall showed many voters have a negative outlook on politics, but at the same time, they're more invested than ever in the election outcome. Malia Brown has that story.
A new poll shows about 2/3 of voters are pessimistic about politics. History teacher Nicole Porter of Hermitage has felt lots of emotions as a voter.
Election, I literally said I voted angry. I walked in and I voted angry.
But this year,
my mood is more change. Like, okay, this is the chance to make some changes in Congress, and let's see where things are going with this.
A new Associated Press NORC survey shows 71% of voters believe their vote in this election will help determine the future of our country. Penn State political science professor Dr. Andy Vitek has been paying close attention to this midterm.
The level of voter engagement across both parties, the level of electoral energy across both parties is very high.
The poll shows big majority across party lines. About 8 in 10 say casting their ballot this year is very important. Experts say there are key reasons.
The Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe v. Wade several months ago, certainly seems to have had the effect of greatly energizing Democratic voters. The overall economic situation tends to motivate individuals to vote as well, with inflation being high.
Voters like Gabriella Bender agree.
I think a lot of people in Pennsylvania know how important it is, especially because this is a state that sometimes flips back and forth with parties. So it's definitely important that everybody gets out and votes if they want to see changes happen.
I'm Malia Brown for the Center County Report.
The same poll shows 58% of voters say they're not satisfied with the state of individual rights and freedoms in the U.S.
Tonight, we also have 2 members of our election team in the newsroom watching developments across the state and nation. Ava Brengord and Josh Portney, what are you looking for tonight?
Andrea, this is the end to a highly contested election. It's been crazy here. These candidates, these topics, it's unlike anyone we've seen before.
Absolutely. This is the culmination of a very, very long election cycle that's featured debates, nasty ads, and a lot of voter apathy. So we have been seeing a lot of this. This has been a really unprecedented cycle.
And one of the things that makes this different from past elections is the voter turnout. People are motivated to get out there. We've seen almost one of the highest on record, especially different from 2018.
Absolutely. We're seeing expectations for the voter turnout to be a little bit higher than that 2018 midterm level, not quite at the 2020 presidential level, but we are there. And so we've been seeing throughout the day. I was in Bald Eagle and State College, pretty high turnout in Bald Eagle, which is going to skew Republican, while in State College, even with that high mail ballot ratio, there's still a high, steady turnout in State College.
Yeah, and Josh, you said you were in the field earlier. What do you think are motivating people to go to the polls?
Absolutely. We spoke to many voters. The Center County Report spoke to many, many voters. And the top 2 issues, I will say, is inflation and the economy and women's reproductive rights. After that Roe decision in the summer, there are a lot of voters coming out on both sides of that issue.
Yeah, that's all for us right now. Andrea, Dale, back to you guys.
Thanks, Ava and Josh. The battle over ballots is still front and center in Pennsylvania. The state Supreme Court ruled last week that state officials cannot count votes from mail-in or absentee ballots that lack accurate handwritten dates on the return envelopes. Reporter Serena DeVanzo has more on the issue.
Pennsylvania is a key swing state in this year's election, one of those states where every single vote really does matter. It's also a state where mail-in ballots continue to be the center of controversy with ongoing legal challenges over a key issue. Whether ballots with incorrect or missing dates on the return envelope can be disqualified. Center County Democrats Chair Margie Swoboda says mail-in voting is critical to give more people access.
Voting by mail gives more people the chance to vote. Mail-in ballots are perfect for that kind of our super seniors or people that for some reason can't get to the polls.
Far more Democrats than Republicans have used mail-in ballots since a 2019 law removed the need for voters to qualify based on a list of allowable excuses. 3 years later, it's a hot-button issue. Governor candidates Josh Shapiro and Doug Mastriano have vastly different visions on what might happen to the process if they win the election. Mastriano wants to end no-excuse mail-in voting, and Shapiro plans to veto any attempts to restrict it. Some believe more security would help in the long run, like Penn State international politics student Joseph Cruz.
We really need to scrutinize the processes that these, all mail-in ballots go through, especially because they're so popular nowadays. As long as there's proper oversight from all the paper trail that would follow the ballots, then I don't really see a problem with them.
Swoboda states that this year the mail-in drop-off boxes will close at 9 a.m. on Monday, November 7th. Though, if you're unable to deliver your ballot to the box by then, you can still bring it to your local elections office. In State College, I'm Serena DeVanzo for the Center County Report.
The state Supreme Court ordered county boards of elections to segregate and preserve questionable ballots in case there are legal challenges.
Heading back to the Senate race, there's been a lot of attention on John Fetterman and whether the lingering effects of his stroke 6 months ago might impact the election. Renata Dow takes a closer look.
U.S. Senate candidate John Fetterman is still recovering from a stroke back in May. TV viewers saw that firsthand as he debated Mehmet Oz in Harrisburg.
I do support fracking, and I support fracking, and I do support fracking.
Seeing him struggle to speak has some voters worried that he may not be fit for office if elected.
I judge based on what I see, and what I see is a guy who is clearly not as articulate as he was before the stroke.
Fetterman released a doctor's note last month that read, "The lieutenant governor is recovering well from his stroke, and his health has continued to improve. He has no work restrictions and can work full duty in public office." State College Mayor Ezra Nance has worked with Fetterman since he ran for lieutenant governor, and he says quick action by Fetterman's wife when the stroke happened was critical.
Thankfully, Giselle had the presence of mind to get him to care quickly, and that made a big difference.
To Nance, Fetterman's fit to serve.
Just because a person is recovering from a stroke and may have some auditory or speech challenges, it doesn't mean that their mind is not working.
Before the debate, many voters didn't realize the difficulty Fetterman was having with speaking and processing thoughts. He used closed captioning during the event.
Doing that debate wasn't exactly easy.
But some voters believe he was still able to deliver his ideas well.
His doctor cleared him, and he seems to be in much better shape than a lot of other people in the Senate.
The debate intensified the focus on his stroke recovery, but Fetterman says it's just another challenge he's trying to match.
After that stroke, I got knocked down, but I got back up.
I'm Renata Dow for the Central County Report.
A new poll shows Fetterman's debate performance may have hurt him. The race between Fetterman and Oz is a toss-up.
There's much more ahead on this Center County Report election special.
Next, the effects of negative ad campaigns. Do they really work? And how more politicians are turning to TikTok to get their message out and connect with younger voters.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station. Get the PBS Video app now and stream the best of PBS anytime, anywhere.
We care about things that affect the lives of every American.
We are there at the front line
to get to the heart of what really matters in every issue.
This country has not seen this in 80 years.
This extraordinary moment in American history.
You're making such a huge impact.
Trust is at the heart of what we do.
Voters in this year's election have been inundated with negative campaign ads. But did those ads help or hurt candidates? Samantha Saucier has more on the story.
Negative ads surround us every day, especially during campaigning season. But how effective are these ads, and are they encouraging more people to avoid voting altogether? Dozens of campaign signs line the streets of State College, but are these signs really doing good for the election, or just shedding a negative light? According to studies by Marjorie Hershey, a professor of political science at Indiana University, when people choose a candidate and seek attacks on that person, they're more likely to avoid voting altogether because they're unable to identify whether or not the ad is warranted.
We're seeing an explosion of negative advertising, which is primarily designed to drive the negative ratings on people down. And what it ends up doing, I think, is turning people away from politics in general and democracy in general.
Matthew Jordan, a critical media scholar at Penn State, says that the negative election ads take away from the true meaning of democracy and persuades viewers to distance themselves from politics.
Democracy is much more than just voting. It has to be also the way that we work with each other, the way that we deliberate about solving problems that we all share, no matter our political affiliation or our candidate of preference.
Negative election ads can also portray a different message than intended, causing some voters to vote solely on the false campaigning rather than what the candidates stand for.
You might get people who come out to vote because they're angry or something like that, rather than because they truly believe in what the candidate's doing.
In State College, I'm Samantha Saucier for the Center County Report.
More Pennsylvania politicians tried to reach younger voters before the election, and that means some candidates turned to one of the world's most popular social media apps. Olivia Corman reports.
Key election year like this, getting a candidate's message across to voters can be the difference between a big win and a shocking loss. Campaigns use TV. They also use in-person events, newspapers, radio, and social media like Facebook and Twitter. But now in a push to reach younger voters, politicians are also turning to the widely popular TikTok app, which has more than 138 million users across the country.
I think, TikTok's kind of useful in terms of, the short video format, but also you can then share those TikTok videos on other social media platforms.
Neil Malson, public policy professor, says the likes and shares can help spread a candidate's message to a far-reaching audience.
Candidates, I think, try to use multiple platforms, but you also see candidates specialize in platforms that they think are going to reach their particular voters.
He says take Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate and governor races, for example.
Fetterman, that's been a lot of Twitter. And Twitter with short video, TikTok videos or other recorded videos. For a candidate like Doug Mastriano, who's the Republican running for governor in Pennsylvania, he uses a lot of Facebook, and he doesn't use the other platforms nearly as much.
Annie Newman with Josh Shapiro says the Shapiro campaign social media goal is to reach as many voters as possible across all platforms.
Have a candidate who is really native to digital platforms and really enjoys them, really enjoys communicating with people in new ways and being really authentic on those platforms. So TikTok and the nature of it just really became a perfect fit.
To learn more about the candidates, you can go on local Pennsylvania websites or follow them on TikTok. In University Park, I'm Olivia Corman with the Center County Report.
TikTok said last month it'll require the accounts of politicians and political parties to be verified, and that's made it harder for them to use the platform's advertising and fundraising systems.
Coming up next, we take a closer look at redistricting and what's different in Pennsylvania for this year's election. And meet a group of college students who traveled all the way from Scotland to State College to watch the Pennsylvania election.
My skin, think it's time I find my place here.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You're taking my breath away.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Amazing. Well, what are you waiting for?
You belong here. This is your home.
What is your sense now of the humanitarian situation?
This is making me emotional.
This experience I'm going to carry with me the rest of my life.
I'll always be so grateful for everything you did for me.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
This year's election features new congressional and state legislative district lines in Pennsylvania that'll be in place for the next decade. Anna Meyer has more details.
Every 10 years, new census data is used by states to redraw their congressional and state legislative districts. It's a sometimes long and painful process that can lead to court fights. Pennsylvania's new congressional map, chosen by the state Supreme Court, eliminated one Republican district, but other than that, doesn't make major changes to the state lines. Pennsylvania lost one congressional seat overall. Earlier this year, the State Legislative Reapportionment Commission voted to approve new state House and Senate maps. State Representative Scott Conklin of Centre County says the fight for any toss-up districts is key to the power balance.
Those three leaning seats are those toss-up seats. That's whether the Republicans or the Democrats will control the agenda. See, in the House and in the Senate, the leader of the majority party controls the agenda.
With the election right around the corner, these new district lines could potentially change the outcome by shifting the power from a Republican control to Democratic. Redistricting has 6 general criteria under the state constitution to be approved: compactness, contiguity, equal population, preservation of existing political communities, partisan fairness, and racial fairness.
Doing so, we were able to make what I believe for the first time since the politicians were involved in it, the fairest redistricting process, not only for the House but also for Congress. It may not have been what everybody wanted, but it's a map that everybody can live with.
Others wonder what redistricting could mean for their representation.
I am a little nervous about the election, like the results, just because as a woman, I know my reproductive rights are kind of on the line here in Pennsylvania. I know it's a swing state, so that's why I came to vote.
Kate Heinzel is from State College, says she is happy that the state redistricted, but still is nervous for the future.
I'm excited with the redistricting because it allows for more possibility for new candidates with new ideas to come in. I am nervous that we are going to move less democratic in the large sense of what it means to be a democracy.
With many races too close to call this year, no matter how areas are redistricted, it will ultimately be up to voters and voter turnout. In State College, I'm Anna Meyer for the Centre County Report.
Pennsylvania now has 17 congressional seats instead of 18 after this year's redistricting.
A group of college students from Scotland have traveled to State College this week to watch and report on the Pennsylvania and U.S. elections. Olivia Corman introduces you to them.
While many Americans are tired of the endless political ads and election news surrounding the midterms, others can't get enough. Cameron and Georgia are from Scotland, and they're in State College to be here for Election Day.
We know that Pennsylvania is quite a swing state, so we've kind of came just to see, get our own idea of it and see, how it all works and things.
They're students from a Scottish university here with a professor to watch the U.S. elections.
We're trying to get an understanding of kind of the state in general and the differences between areas, politically, their views and that kind of thing. So trying to get a view of what it's like from each side.
Among their goals, to see how the U.S. political system works and how it's different from the U.K.
I feel like people are more vocal here.
Yeah, you can see that completely.
And more passionate about their views and stuff, I think, which is, it's good because I think people are more involved in what's going on, and But I think as well, like, it's interesting. I feel like we hear a lot about US politics back home, and like even more so than we do about our own.
They're also exploring how controversial issues are handled compared to back home.
I think I'm quite interested in American politics more so. You hear everything and see on social media, like about obviously the Roe v. Wade and abortion and things, and you see what's happening, and then you kind of, like, compared to back home, you think, oh, I don't know if I don't want that to happen to my my country and stuff. So I think you kind of like you can compare you want to like compare them and see like, yeah, what's like the difference.
The students from the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow hope their 7,000-mile round trip gives them a front row seat to see U.S. election politics in action. In University Park, I'm Olivia Corman for the Center County Report.
Wow, it seems like a great experience, and we hope they enjoyed their visit here. The students are heading back home to Scotland tomorrow.
We're back with more information for you on tonight's election after the break. Stay around with us after the break.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Support your PBS station and you can get Passport, giving you full seasons, early releases, special collections, and more. Get the PBS Video app now and stream the best of PBS anytime, anywhere.
We care about things that affect the lives of every American.
We are there at the front line
to get to the heart of what really matters in every issue.
This country has not seen this in 80 years.
This extraordinary moment in American history.
You're making such a huge impact.
Trust is at the heart of what we do.
We invite you to follow tonight's election results from our Center County Report news team. We're back with live updates at 9, 10, and 11. And you can also get information throughout the night on our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Thanks for joining us. We're back live at 9.
See you all then.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.